Hi, meow. My name is Aaron, and welcome to a KTANE tutorial on this module, Fast Boolean Venn Diagram.
This is the story of a man named Stanley.
In order to do this, you need to, and once you activate the module by clicking any of these sectors, a Boolean expression will appear on the top, and you need to press all the ones that equate to true before the timer runs out. You have 30 seconds to do it all. Now, here, I'll activate it and you'll see. So once I press something, it'll show it up here. And then you have 30 seconds to guess which one is true. Now, there is a choice where if you're like, oh, I'm not going to get this in time, you can simply just not press anything. So, just don't press anything, wait for the timer to run out, and then it'll submit nothing, and you won't get a strike, but it'll show you the solution. But if you were to press something and the timer runs out, when the timer runs out, it'll submit. It'll strike you because you tried to guess. So, now you're probably asking, Aaron, I only have 30 seconds to do this. How am I supposed to figure out every possible solution in 30 seconds? Now, I'm going to teach you, the reason why I'm making this tutorial is to teach you the strategy to how to beat this, because it is really hard. The only thing that would be required is that you and the diffuser would know all the Boolean logic gates by heart, because this module does not forgive, and it is best for you to know the expressions before doing this, because you're not going to have a good time. There is no way in the heck you will be able to explain this to the expert. Expert gets all single answers and submit it back in the 30 seconds you have. It is just impossible. So I'll teach you a strat. So I have like more simpler examples and not timed examples like Boolean diagram and extended Boolean Venn diagram on this bomb. So yeah, so we're going to be taking a look at this, and I'll teach you the strategy right now. Okay, so here, let's look at this one, because this is a good example. So it's alpha and parentheses Bravo NAND Charlie end parentheses. Now, we don't know the solution yet, but I can already tell you that we can X out half of the answers because of this alpha and. Why is that? Because if you look at this, ands will only equate to true if both of them are true. If this alpha is true and these parentheses are true. So that means I can already guarantee you that we will be pressing everything, we will only be pressing answers in the alpha box, because if alpha was false, then it'll just turn out false, no matter what this parentheses is. And I'll show you, let's solve it now. So, and then since we know that alpha is, we can only press things in here, now we can use our deductive, now we can actually think about, we can actually think further deep down and figure out when we need this to be true. We need to figure out what all of these are true too. So I can already tell you that Bravo NAND Charlie, if both were true, it would equate to false, so everything else would be true. So, and this is why you need to know these operators by heart, because you wouldn't know what I'm saying if you didn't know them. So the answer is this, and this, and it's solved. So here, I'll tell you now what we just did. I'll actually draw out what we just did there. So here, let me get my pen out, and I'll tell you what we just did. So let me do, this is our equation right here. Now, what we just did there was, so our possible answers could be this, or let me write up. Actually, let me do this, and then let's draw out these. Or okay, that does that. Okay, so these are our possible things we can come up with the operator, and I'll put the operator in like blue, probably. So this is our operator. Now, when we deducted, when we immediately deducted that we should only supposed to be pressing everything in the alpha alpha circle, what did we just do there? So, what we just did there is that we literally just X'd out all of these. Let me see. We literally X'd out all of these possible solutions and all of these possible solutions. Oh, let me do that in like another layer. And actually, let me put this in like another layer. This is the operator here. There we go. Yeah. Let me move this in the middle. Make it nice and neat. Oops. I did not mean to do that. There we go. We're good. Okay, so we just X'd out these possible solutions. Like literally every single one, and it didn't even matter. Like we didn't even need to think about it. We just X'd out these. And then now we used our deductive reasoning, logic to get this answer, because this is the one that we need, and we thought about Xing out, and we just thought about Xing these out. So that's ultimately what we did there in the blink of an eye, and that's how I'm able to solve this equation really fast. Now, the strategy, why am I explaining this though? The strategy is to get a equation like this where you can X out you can eliminate most of the answers without having to think too much. That is the that is the strategy to it. That's not what I want to take out. Which one's the... yeah, it's this one. There we go. Okay, so here, let's take a look at another example. If we have one, okay, let's do this one. So, when something implies, which is the arrow, to something, just think of true, arrow, true to false, is false. So, that means that if alpha was false, it will always equal true no matter what. And you can see that right here, in this one. If the left side was false, it would equate to true anyway, as you can see here. So that means we already know we can eliminate half of the answers again, just clicking everything outside the alpha box, so like this, and I didn't even need to think about it. Now we can use our logic and think about it to find the rest of the answers. Where now if true to false was false, it would equal false. Yeah, it would equal false. So we need true to true. That means we need this Bravo and Charlie to equal true, and it's Bravo XOR Charlie. So exactly one needs to be true. So that means we just need just Bravo and just Charlie. And we solved it. And I didn't need to think about it that much. Now, what did we just do there? Well, let's draw it out again. So we had this. Okay, so now when we pressed all the ones that weren't alpha, what did we just do there? Well, Oh, okay, well I put in the same layer, oops, okay, whatever. Okay, so what did we just do there? Hold on, I'm getting texts. I gotta check them. They're important. Okay, so, okay. Okay, yeah, it's just, okay. Okay, I checked my text. Okay, I'm gonna continue now. So, what did we just do there when we pressed all the ones that weren't alpha? Well, we literally just selected all of these answers right here. Or I'll do like check mark in front of it. Yeah. And then we needed to think about this one right here. We thought about this one to ultimately eliminate this answer because this is the only one that equates to false. And we did this in like literally less than 1 second while we used the rest of the time to just figure out this. And we didn't need to think about this because this is going to equate to false. We didn't even need to care about that. So yeah, now you're starting to get the strategy, I think. Let's look at this one. I'm probably going to do all the operators, and I'll tell you also why I'm avoiding XOR and XNOR, just because for the sake of the tutorial. So let's see here. So this is a good example. Now, true to false. So that means right needs to be true, left needs to be false, and to equate to false. Alpha, if alpha was true, it'll always equate to true. So we literally eliminated half the answers again. So you can press all the alphas, everything in the alpha circle, without having to think about it. And then now we need false, false to equate to true in order to solve the module now. We just need to think about that because true to false is false. So we need false, false. Now we need this to be false. Now the only way it could be false is true to false. So we need Bravo to be true. So Bravo is true. And then we selected that and the module solved. What did we just do there? So let's figure it out. Yeah, this is a different arrow, so this will be good. That was a bad arrow. Okay, so what did we just do there? When we selected all of the ones that are in the alpha, we got rid of this and this. And then we needed to figure out, logically think about these two to ultimately select all the answers that were this, and then leave out the answers that were this, because this is false. So yeah. Okay, let's do another one. Let's do a different operator. Let's do NAND, because NAND is a good one too. So NAND is where true NAND true equals false, otherwise true. So that means if at least one of them is false, it'll equal true. So that means we can deductively, if Charlie was false, it'll always equal true no matter what this turns out to be. So we can select everything that's outside the Charlie circle. And then now we need to logically think, okay, if now we selected everything that was false. Now if this were true, which now these are the answers that where Charlie is true, this needs to be false now in order to equate to true. So the only way I can do that is if alpha and Bravo were false, because this is alpha or Bravo. So only Charlie. So we need to select the ones that aren't alpha and Bravo, which is this one only. And we solved it. So what did we just do there? Let's see. This is the operator. Okay. What we just do there. Now, when we selected all the ones that weren't the right side was false, we got rid of, or no, let me use check mark because it was true. We got rid of these ones, and then we needed to logically think about where this one we needed to get these ones, well, we ignore these ones because this would equate to false. Okay, yep. Now, let's see if I can get an OR. Is there an OR anywhere? Anything? Yeah, this one. We got an OR. Okay, so now let's look at a bigger example like this one. So look at this one right here. Alpha OR. Now I'm going to stop there because this is all together. So that means that no matter what, if alpha was true, the whole thing will be true no matter what the other letters are. So that means we can select literally everything in the alpha circle and it'll be true. It'll be right. And now we need to logically think about if alpha was false. Now we need this to be true. So now we can actually kind of think about it here. So let's think about it. So this is the ultimate operator here is implied by. So that means that if this were false, it'll always equal true, no matter what. So we need this to be false. The only way this could be false is echo being true and delta being false. So we need to find the sectors where echo is true and delta is false. No matter, and it doesn't matter about any of these other letters, just where echo is true, delta is false. So yeah, so we can focus in the echo circle. Now let's avoid the delta circle and press those. And we just did. It was only 4 segments. Okay, now now we can do true to true now, because we just got rid of false, false, and false true. So now we just need true true, which is where, hold on. Okay, so for this to be true, we need to select the ones where echo and delta is true, echo and delta is false, and delta is only true. So, and then we also need to be careful of Bravo and Charlie. So actually, we don't need to figure out, we can ignore this one, because we selected all the ones where this was false. So we just need to figure out, we just need to select the ones that are true on this. So we need to select the segments that where Bravo and Charlie equate to true. So we need Bravo and Charlie. So we need to select both of these where it's true. So we need to actually look and see where Bravo and Charlie are true together at the same time. So here, 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 and we solved it because we didn't need to think about too much. Like, we thought about it separately, I guess. So what did we just do there? Now I'm just gonna use the OR. Now with these extended Boolean examples, you're just doing the simple bits, just expanding it further, I guess. So what did we do when it was OR? Now, when the first step we did was select all the ones that were in the alpha circle. Now what did we just do there when we did that? We just got rid of all of these answers which were right. And then we used that time to logically think out we needed to select all of these ones because the right side needed to be true. And then ignore the ones that were this because this equates to false. There we go. Now I would like a NOR example now in the down arrow. Let's see here. Okay, this one, yeah, this one is good because it's alpha NOR parentheses Bravo or Charlie. Okay, so now I can logically already say that we cannot press anything in the alpha square no matter what, or it's going to equate to false. Because if anything is true in the NOR logic gate, it will equate to false no matter what. So if alpha is true, the entire equation will equate to false. So that means we eliminated these answers. We cannot press these answers. Now we will press these 4 answers right here. Anything that's not in the alpha circle. Now we need this to equate to false in order for it to be true. And if it was true, then it would equate to false. So we need this to be false. So the only way to do that is where Bravo and Charlie don't exist or are false. So it's this one only. So yeah, what did we just do there? Let's see. And then I'll explain why I'm avoiding the XOR and XNOR logic gates. And then I'll actually do the module. Because this is a lot of explaining right here. But it's good to see it visually for the sake of the tutorial. So when alpha, now when I thought alpha was true, it wasn't the right answer. So we got rid of these answers right here immediately. And then we needed to logically figure out this answer, and then ultimately X out this answer. Or you can do it the other way around. But you just need to select these ones. Now, see, I'll tell you why I'm avoiding XOR. Now, let me get an XOR one. Just XOR, please. Okay, let's do this one. Actually, yeah, this one's a good one. So here, this is why I'm avoiding XOR, because say we were using the same strategy we were using with all the other logic gates, where echo is either true or false. Now, if echo is true, exactly one needs to be true. So if we say, okay, let's try and select all the ones that are in the echo circle that are big where echo is true. We don't know what to select yet still, because we need the left side to be false, and we need to actually think about that now. And then that'll just be a jumbled up mess, because we need to avoid certain circles while staying in the echo circle. It's just a lot harder to think about. And here, I'll give it, so yeah, you can kind of see what I mean. But if you don't, let's look at a simpler example from Boolean Venn diagram. Alpha XNOR Bravo and Charlie. We need alpha. Now, if alpha was true, we wouldn't know yet what to press yet, because we need this to be true as well. And then we need to figure out which sectors where this will equate to true, and it's where we're false. We need this to be false, but we don't know what to press yet, because we don't immediately know what these are false, where this equates to false. It's just a lot harder to think about, and in order to actually use the strategy we're thinking about, we need to actually change our thinking, where we need alpha to be false while this equates to false. And to do that, we use let's see here. In order to this to be true, we need Bravo and Charlie to be true, which is this one. So we can select all the other ones. But I mean, it's just harder to think about. Now we need this to be true and true. So it's all done together. Now, what did we do there? Let's see. Now what we actually did there, and this is why I despise XOR and XNOR, because it's just harder to think about. Okay, so what do we do there? So when we thought, now let's say alpha was true, we need alpha to be true. I mean, that means this needs to be true, but we didn't know, where's the example? What this immediately knew what this equates to true, unless you're really good with really good with the logic gates, which I am, but in this case it's hard to think about when you're actually doing this module right here. So we could not eliminate any of these yet in the blink of an eye. We needed to actually think about what we were going to press. And then when alpha was false, we didn't know which one was false and true for the right side. So we needed to think about it twice. Here, I mean, we can draw a brain here. Sure, I'll draw a brain here. This is a great looking brain. We needed to think about this twice in order to figure out the solution here. I mean, you don't there's a way to not think about it twice. Here, I'll use the XOR example just so you can... do we have one? No, we don't. Okay, but we have this. And yeah, we have this. But I think that's about it. So, yeah, do we? Yeah, we do. Okay, whatever. So, yeah, I'll tell you the strategy for XOR actually. So, we need to press... Now, if this was just alpha, or... Okay, you know what? Here, let's do this. Let's do XOR on here. Now, in order to think, so here, pretend this was XOR, I guess. I don't know. So, in order to figure out what this was, we needed to press word Charlie. Pretend this is XOR, I guess. You know what? Never mind. Okay, I'll just explain it here. So, in order to only think about it once, we needed to press all the ones. We just ignored all the ones. We can just ignore all the ones that were true is... Okay, that's not the right color. Where true is true, or true XOR true. We just needed to ignore those, and then we needed to find the cells where true, where they're both true, and then where they're both false as well. And then we just only needed to focus on this and this. But that's really hard to find within this Boolean Venn diagram. If left and rights were false, then I would say like you would need to figure out this first, and then it would be so we already know that it would not be, so it'd be these four sectors because it's not in Charlie, because Charlie is false, and then it'll be not alpha and bravo, so it'd be this one. So yeah, then we would actually press this one if this was XOR. So it's just harder to think about and harder to find within the Boolean Venn diagram versus getting to like either selecting all the ones in all the other sectors, or all sectors, or yeah, and eliminating half of the answers, or eliminating that answer in total. I know it's a jumbled mess, and I know it's like really hard to explain, but I think you can kind of get the strategy here. We need to get an expression where we can eliminate half of the answers and keep eliminating half of the answers and do it within that 30 seconds to get to solve the module. And if it was XOR, it'll just be harder because we need to compensate. Now, because we would need to compensate. So in this example, if echo was true, we needed to compensate for this and think about it, where this would actually be false and really think about it. Versus if this was like AND or something, we could already deduct that, okay, we can select all the ones in the echo. So that's why I despise XOR and XNOR. That's why I'm telling you this because you do not want those in your expression. If it happens to appear, then I just immediately back out, or like I would try to think about it at least, and then but it'll just be harder, and ultimately. So that's why I despise XOR, and that's why you don't want it in your fast Boolean Venn diagram. Okay, now using the knowledge I've taught you, let's actually do it now. Let's actually do it. And just warning, this is a little bit different than Boolean Venn diagram, an extended Boolean Venn diagram, because where does it say it? Where does it say it? Or it says right here. XNOR and XOR look different. I mean, the different symbols, just triangle, XOR, and XNOR has 3 lines. I mean, you're not going to use it. I'm telling you not to use it. Like, just skip it if you see it. So if you see the symbols, I guess just skip it. The best thing to do is skip it, because you need to compensate for one side being true or false, and you need to figure out if the right side is true or false. Just a little hard to think about. And then it says here, expressions that have operators in parentheses are evaluated first. Operators are then evaluated left to right from the expression displayed. So what that means is that, let me get a new one here. So let's say you get an expression like this, and yes, this can appear. Let's say you get an expression like this. I'm just thinking of it on the top of my head. So let's see if you get an expression like this. Well, there's no parentheses. What am I supposed to fucking do? So what this is actually telling you to do is this. I get that I didn't have enough room. Well, yeah. So it's telling you to evaluate alpha nor bravo first, and this will be is true or false, and then evaluate this true or false, or Charlie, and then evaluating all of this and delta. So the ultimate operator here is this one, and this is the one where you need to pay attention if you're going to do this module. The last operator, if this were to happen. And then, of course, if it was in parentheses, like, say, like this or something, say like this, it would be like this. So you would evaluate this one first, and then it'll be like this, or whatever this one is. I'll just do this. Then you would evaluate this one first, or this one second, and then the AND operator last. But that looks like a jumbled mess, but I guess you get the point. Do parentheses first, operator left to right. Not that, it's pretty simple. Little hard to think about though when you only have 30 seconds to do it. Okay, so now using everything we know, we can actually solve this now. Let's solve it now. And I might do probably 3 examples of this, so let's do it. Okay, this has XORs, so I'm gonna skip this. I don't want to, I immediately back out because there's XORs. I don't want to do that. Let's check this one. This has an XNOR. I don't want to do that. Okay. Okay, hopefully I got that right. Let's see if it's right. And I'll take a picture of it.
Yes.
Yes, it was right. Oh, okay, it still keeps it for me anyway. Okay, now what was my thought process behind that? Because I needed to be silent in order to focus and actually solve it. But what exactly was my thinking behind that? So let's see. Okay, let's pull up I'll pull up the picture, the screenshot I took of it. Okay, so, okay, okay, well, okay, let me like, do this. There we go, this is better. Okay, what was my thought process behind that? So it was Charlie and parentheses delta or alpha implies bravo and parentheses. So using the strategy we used before, like it was this one, or this one, alpha and parentheses, whatever this is, I already concluded, I eliminated half of the answers in a blink of an eye because I already knew that in this case, Charlie needed to be, we only need to select sectors, only all the answers will only be somewhere in this only Charlie sector right here. So, and as you can see here, it's in reading order alpha, bravo, Charlie, delta. the letters of the circles. So yeah, I immediately concluded I only needed to focus on these sectors right here. I ignored everything else because I already knew that and didn't care at all to think about it too much. Okay, now if this was true, we need this to be true as well. Okay, but how do we do that? The strategy here is to look at the last one here, this last one right here, because this is the ultimate indicator here that'll ultimately equate this to be true or false. So I looked at this right here, and in order for this to be true, this needed to be true. No matter what, if this was true, this entire thing would equate to true. So I focused in this sector where Bravo and Charlie were true. So that means if you rewind, I selected these sectors. I selected these sectors because they were in the Charlie circle and in the Bravo circle. So I already knew that these were definitely the answer without having to think about it too much. And then now what did we just do there? Well, when I selected everything that was where Bravo was true. Okay, let's go back. Oh wait, no, okay. When I selected everything that where Bravo was true, or the right side was true, I selected all of these. So I didn't need to think about these at all. I needed to think about selecting these ones and ignoring these ones. So how did I do that? Well, when I thought about this being false, when Bravo being false, this needed to be false as well. So I only focus on this being false now. But still only mattering about the sectors in Charlie, because Charlie needed to be true. So only for this to only be false is only one solution, which is being delta or alpha. So then I selected this one because this is still within the Charlie circle, and where false or false implies false would equal true. And then I'm like, okay, then that's it. I'm done. I think I solved it, and then I waited, and it was right. And then when I knew that I need to select everything in the Charlie segment, I'll go back to it again, just for the sake of the tutorial, even though I'm doing this a lot. It's good to know though. When I knew that I needed to select everything in only Charlie, where the left side was true, I eliminated these answers. So I didn't need to care about any of this. I only cared about this and ignored this. Now you see how I did it so fast and within the 30 seconds. Now you see. Okay, now let's try another example just so we can know. Yeah, let's do another example. I'll stay silent again because this actually requires focus. Okay, hopefully I got that right. Hopefully. I think that's right. I think that's wrong though. Oh, it was wrong. I selected. Okay, I did it. I reversed it. Oops. Okay, we're just gonna ignore that. This has an X NOR. I don't want to deal with that. This has an X NOR. Or okay, actually. Okay, no, I don't want to figure this out. This has an X OR, I don't want to do that. Okay, that was easy. Now this one was easy. I think I got it right. Because it was just or everywhere. It's the easiest operator to me is or.
Yes.
Yep, it was right. Okay, what was my thinking behind that? Let's see. Let's take a picture of it. Let's open the picture. Okay, right here. Let's use like this, and then let's do this. Okay, what was my thinking behind this? Okay, so it was Charlie implied by parentheses to whatever this is. Stop there. I immediately knew I needed to. All the answers in the Charlie sector were going to be right because let's look at it again. When I immediately knew that no matter what, if the left side was true, it would equate to true. So I selected all of these answers without thinking about it, without in the blink of an eye. And then now the next step was to figure out this answer and ignore this answer, which we we are trying to figure out all the ones that were Charlie is false now. So I didn't need to care what the left side was. I just need to care what the right side was, which was false. I just need to figure out what the right side was to equate to false. And so here so now I have my answer like this so far. Oh, oops. I have my answer like this right now. Now, we needed this to be false. Now, this was easy because it was OR, but alpha, or Bravo, or Delta. So, I already knew that alpha needed to be false. So, what did I just do there? When I knew alpha needed to be false in order to equate to false, no matter what. And that is the only answer that it could be. Because it's OR, because as you can see here, I'm going to do it again. I just eliminated these answers, and then now I just need to figure out this answer right here, because I need it to be false. Or, okay, well, here, I'll do this, because these are true right here. I need this right here, because I needed it to be false. The target was for it to be false. So I already knew, I already X'd out all of these. I X'd out these answers right here when I knew, when I just eliminated those. So look, I eliminated these answers right here. This was my step 2 right here. I just eliminated everything in the alpha sector. Now, we just need to figure out now we need this to be false. This part to be false. Bravo or Delta to be false. How did I do that? Well, anything true would equate to true. So I immediately knew Bravo and Delta need to be false as well. So that's when I'm like, okay, now I found my answer. I selected this sector, and then I didn't care about these 3. So I'm like, okay, that's all the answers. And then it was right. Okay, now you can see how I'm getting the answer now. Okay, let's do one more example, and then I'm going to end the tutorial. This tutorial is going on for too long. Okay, let's do this one. This has an XOR, not promising, so I'm not gonna do it. True, false. So false, Bravo, true. True to false. So Delta. So this. Hopefully I got that right. Please. Yes, I got it right. Okay, what was my thinking behind that? This one was a little bit more complicated. Okay, let's see. Screenshot, I forgot how to take a screenshot. Control print, there we go. I forgot how to take a screenshot for a sec. Let's look at it one more time. Okay, what did I just do there? So, let's see. Okay, so I looked at the ultimate indicator here, which was this last one right here, which was NAND. This was going to determine if the entire thing was going to be true or false, because it's the last one, and that's how the module works. I already can conclude if alpha was false, it would always equate to true. So that means if I select all the ones outside the alpha circle, it'll equate to true. So without thinking, in literally less than 1 second, I pressed literally all the ones that weren't in this alpha circle right here. So so that means I selected all these green ones right here. And I'll tell you what that did using this. I'll use this every time. I'm really sorry, but you probably already know, but if you don't, here's why. I selected all of these, I selected all of these answers without thinking too much. And then now I need this answer, and I needed to ignore this answer. So that means if I'm trying to think about false NAND true, I needed to think about all of this that needed to equate to false. Now, the ultimate indicator in this part of the equation is this one right here, that implies this needs to be false. The only way it could equate to false if true implies false would equal false. So that means I needed Bravo to be true, so that means I deducted, without thinking too much, that I needed to press something in the Bravo circle that's contained in the Alpha circle. That means I eliminated these answers right here, or I'll do it in like red. I eliminated these answers right here without thinking too much, and I'll tell you what that did. So this is false right here, or no, this one's false right here. I needed this right here. So what I just did was when I knew that Bravo needed to be true, or the left side needed to be false, so the left side, or in this case, Bravo needed to be true, I eliminated these answers right here. We do not need these, because we need it to be false. So we need to figure out what this is, and then eliminate this one right here. That will eliminate this one right here. So how do I do that? Okay, so true to false is false. We needed this to be false. It was an AND indicator. Now, knowing AND, the only way this could be true if both of them were true, otherwise false. So that means I needed Delta and Charlie to be false, Delta to only be true, and Charlie to only be true. So that means so basically I needed to find the segment where Delta and Charlie were true out of these 4 sectors I haven't gotten yet. I need to figure out first. And it was this one right here. Oh, oops. It was this one right here. So I'm like, okay, well, I'm not going to press that. That means everything else would be true because it would deductively think all false, or Delta and Charlie false, Delta true, and Charlie only true. So I selected these without thinking too much. Then I'm like, okay, that's it. I did it. I figured out all of them. And then it was right. Now you see how this is possible, because it is really hard thinking about every single one of these possible combinations within 30 seconds, but with the power of getting to eliminate answers is how you're going to succeed. Eliminate answers yeah, that's how you're able to do the module. I'm Aaron Kitty Boy, meow, and that was the tutorial on fast Boolean Venn diagram. I really hope you get this, and I really hope people understand. And I try to explain it the best way I can. See ya, meow.